Make sure to stay connected with me. Follow me on social media, as well as supporting the channel monthly on Patreon, buying merch from my Teespring store, as well as going to the website to check out more of my content. What is going on, guys? I am Jaye the Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. You know, I've been wanting to really get to certain topics that are of interest outside of what goes on in sports or entertainment or whatever. And I want to just piggyback off some of the things I've been speaking about in some of my recent live streams. And it's in regards to basically men having options. What you have now is other men trying to shame men into being the cleanup men, you know, shaming them into wanting to date the women that they refuse to not only date, but marry. You know, they want these guys to date and marry these women, make honest women of those women, accept those women for all their flaws. But they refuse to put a ring on that woman's finger. They want other men to do their job for them. And I'm noticing that more and more, especially on social media. Okay. Now, there is a movement called S.I.M.P.S, right? Some of you who may be familiar with it, there's been a lot of discussion about it, and it's basically about men traveling and exercising options. Everybody has their different take on it, right? Well, to me, you don't have to have a label on living your life as a man, but I can understand, you know, guys agreeing and wanting to carry a banner of something, right? I did it when I first started speaking about, you know, men going your own way issues and carrying the label. But as time went on, I wanted to be more of myself, more of an individual, because I've always been an individual. I'm not a group guy. You know, you'll never see me in groups. I'm not a group person whatsoever. I'm all about being an individual who's able to bring strong ideas to wherever I choose to put my flag, right? Now, I know many of others, unfortunately, we see guys who they themselves think that they are the ladies' man and they can get this woman and that woman, and you know, they don't believe in having these labels, and they want to shame anything that's outside of the norm, because of course we have to accept the normal, right? And when some of these guys are confronted with what isn't normal, what happens is they end up shaming it and siding with certain females who don't like it either, because we all know there are women out here who don't like the fact that there are men who are exercising their options. A lot of guys have more options today than they ever had before, and they're not used to that, especially in the black melanated community. For a lot of times, a lot of guys, they did not have the self-confidence. They did not really know what it took to be able to do better, not only socially, financially, spiritually, but with women. And a lot of guys now understand that they have power, and that power is in realizing in yourself and who you are that you can do better than what you are doing. You know, me, you know, I'm an individual. I'm all about self-sufficiency. You know, I'm all about making sure that I don't put my financial future in the hands of anybody outside of myself, betting on myself. That's what you do when it comes to dating and relationships, or even when you want to travel and meet new people. You're betting on yourself. When you approach that girl that you like, that's very attractive, and you're nervous, you're betting on yourself. Win or lose, you're going all in. You know, you're willing to take that risk, because why not? And that's what there are guys that are doing that these days. They have options. They understand that the world, you know, is out there for them, for the taking, you know, and they can take full advantage of it. And when you have guys, unfortunately, other males, biologically, who want to shame those guys because they refuse to be the cleanup men for the women that these guys have ruined. You know, you got certain guys that have ruined women beyond repair, and they want other men to basically repair what they have broken, and that's not happening anymore. And you're noticing there are women out here as well, women who themselves who don't know what they want. They wait so long without really understanding who they are and their self-worth, because it took them so long to really figure out that they had a self-worth. And because they waited so long in life to understand their self-worth, they think that they're worthless, and they're not going to say it publicly, but you can tell by how they treat themselves. You got women who get on social media and they are complete attention seekers. They have given up on trying to live their life decently and trying to find a man, one, that they can settle down with and start a family with, that they can get married to. That's not what they want anymore. They have given in to using their body to get as much attention as possible, to get as much dizzic as possible. They're living their life on the edge. They're not looking for logic. They're not looking for reasoning or common sense, but because they're broken, they're so broken, and they hide behind their degrees that they don't even use. They'll use that as an excuse for why they get on social media and they are doing what they are doing. In their minds, they're in their fun mode. But once you reach a certain age, you should get out that fun mode. I'm seeing women in their 40s, early, mid 40s, even in their late 40s, almost 50s, still in their fun mode. Ain't no telling how many dudes they're juggling. Because older women, for the most part, they think that they're slick, and what they'll try to do, they'll be balancing all these dudes, right? And what they don't realize is that they're only playing themselves in the end, because instead of you finding that one guy, you're still in that same mindset you was when you're in your 20s, but the insecurities are so deep inside your mind. You get a self-esteem boost by the attention that you get from different men and the fact that you're able to juggle these men. And these will be the type of women who will get on social media and they will complain about these guys wanting to travel overseas. Why aren't you trying to fix the problems and the issues that we are having? Instead of those women getting psychiatric help, seeing a therapist, really focusing on repairing themselves from what they have been through in their life, they seek to try to mask that, and that's just never gonna work. And there are guys who aren't broken, who aren't mentally screwed up, who don't want any parts of a woman who they know once they get into a relationship with them, things are gonna get crazy, because she hasn't took the time to really repair herself. She's never really single. She has different men that she's dealing with. She never takes an opportunity to really heal from a previous relationship. She's right back into another one because she can't be alone. And also, we got to look at the element of guys growing up in single parent households. And because they grew up in single parent households, they have the mindset of, wanting to help women who may be single mothers to find them a mate. So they're going to side with them and they're going to defend them, even though they would never put a ring on that woman's finger. They would never try to make her an honest woman, because truth be told, they don't really care. They just care about being right and looking like alpha males in an argument with other men. But what makes them look bad is that, once again, you're not trying to make honest women of these women. You're not trying to marry them. You're not trying to give them the life that they want, but you want other men to do it. No. Why don't you do it? Why don't you go and marry these women and be the symbol of masculinity that they need in their life? Be that balance, but you're never going to do that because you don't like these women yourself. Okay. You probably like something of a lighter hue or a skinnier body or whatever it is that you're into. Okay. You know, you have a certain thing that you like, or you may like a woman who doesn't have kids, because we do have, you know, and especially in the melanated communities, a lot of women out here with kids, and there are guys who are just not willing to go down that route. You know, they're not trying to be stepdaddy. I did a video a while back about a guy who was trying to be a step pops to his girlfriend's son, and guess what? She ended up siding against him with the baby's father, a guy who was in jail. Okay. And there are guys who just don't want to be stuck in those situations, you know, and they want a clean slate. They want to be able to travel. They want to be able to see what's out here. I say that women should do the same thing. Men and women, especially who are native of America, should be able to travel, should be able to meet new people, should be able to experience certain things, because it changes your perspective. You get to appreciate where you're from more. You know, you get to see different cultures, meet different people. There are people out here who have the resources to go anywhere they want to go. And I do agree, if you do have those resources, you shouldn't complain. But I will also say this. There are some certain guys, especially in the melanated community, who are not okay with marrying melanated women, but they're okay with marrying non-melanated women. So they'll say they're against marriage, but only with melanated women. I think that's hypocritical, and I don't think that makes any sense. But I know some of you are going to agree with that and say, no, Jay, that doesn't make any sense. But there are guys who really believe that. They'll talk about how they don't want to date single mothers, but they will date a non-melanated woman with kids. It's a lot of hypocrisy either way. But I think it's incredibly weak when you have grown men trying to police who these guys are dating, when they need to really look into their own lives and focus on fixing that, or focus on playing Captain Save a Thought and try to save one of these wayward chicks who need a lot of guidance and a lot of help and a lot of therapy.